Welcome to Digital Hospitality. I'm your host, Shawn Walchef. This is a Cali BBQ Media production, and we kind of went all out. And I brought my man, Derek Marso from Behind the Smoke, Valley Farm Market, 10th annual Spring Valley Tailgate and BBQ Festival. We're live from the main stage.
This is where it all started. It's actually pretty cool to see kind of how it's grown and what we've done, and we changed a few things up this year, which I think is going to work out a lot better for everybody. But it's been a journey, to say the least.
First off, before we get this episode started, I wanted to thank Derek, his wife Catherine, and his family for literally being the catalyst to help this village change really what was going on. It was 2009. I didn't know who Derek was. I knew Valley Farm Market, obviously, because Cali Comfort, we opened in 2008. And when I talked to Gene about putting on an amateur barbecue contest, Cory Robinson, who was my business partner at the time, him and I were working with Gene, and we're like, well, okay, so what are the steps? How do you put on a barbecue festival? And he said, well, if you're going to do it, you got to do it for something good. You got to do it for charity. And we told him that our goal was to raise money for underprivileged youth that were trying to play sports. And you need sponsors. You need people to buy in to the vision. Derek not only bought in, he's all in. And I just wanted to thank you when we started this episode. That was kind of the start of the friendship, and I thought that 10 years later, it was kind of important, even though it's kind of organized chaos. We'll get into why we actually are even doing a podcast from the main stage, and that's only because we've got an incredible team. And the more that we get out of their way, the better things have been.
Well, I appreciate that, and I won't take credit for really much of anything, because I mean, it was you that came to me and asked about it. And again, I think we shared a parallel where we grew up with sports, and we knew that how important sports were in our lives. So doing that, you had an idea of how to do it, and we wanted to make sure that we are who we say we are. A lot of times it's easy to say, oh yeah, well, I'll donate to that, or I'll do this, and when the time comes, you don't really do it. And we wanted to make sure that, hey, when we say we're going to do something, we do it. And when you came and said, hey, do you want to sponsor? I'm like, dude, I don't want to sponsor. I want to be a part of it. How can we make this thing grow? And here we are 10 years later, been doing this for a long time, had the amateur, and it's grown into something that's pretty unique and pretty awesome, especially in our barbecue journey. Me being in my dad was probably one of the first people in San Diego to do barbecue 40 years ago with Smokin' Joe. And growing up, I actually despised barbecue just because my dad would come smelling like barbecue all the time. You're like, oh my gosh, it stinks, And then when you start to really learn and understand it, when I went out to Kansas State to play football and go to school, found a new love for barbecue, and came back and then just picked my dad's brain of all the knowledge. And he said you wanted to do that. I'm like, man, this is just going to be a segue into something amazing, and it's been nothing short of that. Then being able to do a professional one as well, so it gives amateur teams something to do that when you're not sure, when your mom and your sisters and your cousins and your aunts and uncles tell you how great your barbecue is, like this allows you to go into it without having to go into a crazy KCBS event. If you go to a KCBS pro event, you're going to get eaten up. So this allows people to kind of get their feet wet, understand it, maybe get a few calls here, get first place in chicken or something, or ribs, and it allows them to do something more. That's great. The best part for me, and I know it's for you as well, is being able to give back. Yep. And then partnering up with OIT, who is now San Diego Mentors, and giving the proceeds of this event back to them. I know me personally, I'm very big in supporting people and donating money if I can, but I want to make sure it goes to a good cause. Sometimes if you say, well, the Boys and Girls Club wants you to donate $5,000, well, I think I get lost in the shuffle a little bit, and I don't know exactly where my money's going. But with Shane, San Diego Mentors, we know exactly where it's going. Those kids are going to be here today. They're going to be, seeing what we do to help them out. And sports was kind of that for me. That was, sports was kind of my big brother that kind of helped me understand defeat, how to understand how to win, how to do stuff with class, and how to be humble when you lose and work harder. And San Diego Mentors is doing that for these kids that might not be in sports or something else. And so it's been just a great experience. It's been amazing to be something that's bigger than us. It's not about Cali Comfort. It's not about Valley Farm. It's about giving back to the community that's continues to support us. I mean, shit, you've been in business for a long time, and we're at 63 years now in this community, and we don't plan on going anywhere. So you want to make sure that you can do that. When we were growing up, we had a Santa Fe fair, and it got shut down for numerous reasons, but I always wanted to go to the Santa Fe fair when I was growing up. Well, now we can be that Santa Fe fair. We're the barbecue event where kids come, kids dance. We got a DJ this year, Jeff Goodall, who's amazing. He's going to get everyone pumped up and going. But it's the community, right? It's just everyone that we know coming together for the right cause, and that's what makes it special.
Yeah, I think, yesterday we were fortunate to get invited to go to KUSI, the local news channel, and promote the event, talk about, the charity and the cause, and, really growing the sport of barbecue. And I was talking to the producer, Maggie, when we were up there, and, we were just talking, it's really cool what you guys are doing in the community, and it's cool. What she said was, it's really cool to have a good story come from Spring Valley. And I think that's something that's always resonated with me and with you. There's different neighborhoods, there's different festivals that happen in every city around the world, and sometimes neighborhoods get overlooked, and I feel like Spring Valley's always gotten overlooked, but that's not something that the Marso family, Valley Farm, the Cali Comfort family, we've always embraced the eclectic nature of our neighborhood, and we wanted to do something positive. And I can't tell you how many customers come in and they tell us, I saw you on the news, like, I'm so happy. A good story travels.
Yeah.
And people want good stories, and there's so much bad things that happen on the news, and it's always good to see something positive. And when you see amateur teams that compete here, we have Jerry and his wife Doreen, they were on the Behind the Smoke podcast with Brian from Hot Sauces and More. I mean, these are lifelong friendships that were made literally here on the streets of Spring Valley. I mean, they competed in our first contest. They've been giving back since we started, and now they compete in professional contests. Now he has a catering business. I mean, that's essentially us giving back the way that Gene Goycochea and Arlie and Kelly and Kathleen McIntosh gave to us.
You can't let that die. And that's a big take from all this too, is you want to make sure that you are who you say you are. If you're going to talk about being this person in the community, make sure you're that person. And like you said, we all had our mentors, and Gene being one of ours, and my dad, and different things for the barbecue. But knowledge is power, and if we can share that with people, we want that to keep going. And it's not about holding it tight to your chest and not giving back. It's about being very vulnerable and open and saying, hey, here's who we are. We're a very, very eclectic group of people in Spring Valley. Every race, comes out here, and that's what we always joke about. It's like, the world could be a better place if they had more barbecue events, because every walk of life comes. It doesn't matter your gender, doesn't matter your race. Everyone comes out to have a good time and break bread with each other. So that's what you want to do, is have that pillar for people to be able to come out and do that. It makes it exciting for the community. Like you said, we've gained so many friendships, and the big thing is learning about who people are. And with our team and everyone that's come and helped out, and what makes it so much easier now is that the people that we've got to help us with these events aren't people that just want to donate a few hours and get it signed off. These are lifers. These are people that come out here every single year. I mean, we got Taylor and Kelsey out here from our Over the Line team, who they both just won this year, and they're MVPs of the whole on back Over the Line, and they come and donate their time because they want to be a part of it. It's a movement, and we talk about the West Coast barbecue movement, and I'm proud to be one of the front runners with you, and that's what it is. It's just making sure that we're having a place that's inviting, that we're not snobbish about anything. Like, the more the merrier, man. Come
Absolutely.
Out and eat, come out and hang out, come out and ask questions. I mean, shit, I don't know everything, but I'll give you any type of knowledge that I do have. I'll share it with you, and you know, as long as we're not running around. Remember when we used to come here and we wouldn't sleep for these events?
Yes.
We would stay here till 1, 2 in the morning and get everything going and then come back at 3. I would literally go home and take a shower and just come back. And, you know, you and I in a U-Haul, putting out all the signs, doing everything by ourselves, almost not getting permits. I mean, all the horror stories of things that happened, but through our hard work and through, you know, our grit, we made it happen every fucking year.
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, we drop F-bombs.
Okay,
This is just like Behind the Smoke.
Okay.
Oh yeah, no, digital hospitality.
I just remember last time I went on CS Keys. And, we were on the radio.
Oh man, CS Keys, one of our...
Rest in peace, my man.
Yeah, CS Keys actually just posted a video with him and his daughter that John Browner from Mighty 1090, he filmed 2 years ago before CS Keys passed. And, you know, one of the things that's been so incredible about putting on these barbecue events is the connections that we've been able to make, not only internally with our team, stretching our team, getting into places that are uncomfortable, doing things that we haven't had to do before, but also creating connections with media. You know, we've made some amazing friends that support the barbecue movement, and people like Jim Trotter from NFL Network, people like Ben Higgins, who's on sports director for ABC, and his wife Shelly Higgins. They've both been on the podcast. They're going to come out here today, record their own podcast. Dave and Jeff,
Tabitha,
Heather
Myers. Everyone that's like, they bought into the movement. They enjoy it. We put them as judges. We, you know, involve them, and it's not, again, they're not looking for anything. They just want to be out here and having fun. They're just normal people that want to do it as well. And, you know, again, it's that thing where we can break bread together, and it's just this experience that you just can't get everywhere. And it's not easy. It's never been easy.
There's nothing easy about it.
But I don't know if I would want it to be easy.
Correct.
You know, sometimes, you know, the most rewarding things in life are the things that come hard, and there's, you know, hiccups, and there's stuff that you have to fight through, and it's like, man, when it's all done, it's just so damn rewarding to because it's that feel, right?
Yep.
I talk about it a lot, but I'm a feels person. Like, I have to, sometimes if it's not tangible, it's an emotion that I have to feel. But if I'm not getting that, I'm probably not going to go back to that place. Or I'm probably, you know, if it's just a transactional thing, like, this is everything but transactional. This is us being with the kids, dancing in the street, hanging out. Again, just creating an experience for the community that's so much bigger, so much better for us doing this, and we're bringing everyone together. But, you know, those relationships, the media coming out, you know, and I mean, shit, we get emails all the time about, you know, being on different news segments, and they want us because when we go, what do? We bring an experience.
I mean, isn't it? We used to be where we would go and, you know, pitch the local producer.
We would hire.
You know, we would hire Hannah, who would go and she would get us connections so that we could meet different local news outlets and help get the story out there. And now it's gotten to the place where producers and personalities and people that run stations like Scott Heath, that from Fox 5, I mean, they're contacting us, and it's something that's so humbling to be out here in Spring Valley, to have people contacting us that are that powerful and that exciting.
Derek.
You know, one of the cool things about barbecue is that these barbecue stories, they happen across the nation. And, you know, part of National Barbecue Association, we were fortunate to meet Mike Mills and Amy Mills from 17th Street Barbecue, and, you know, they've been doing a festival in Murfreesboro, right?
Yeah.
In Murfreesboro, that's, I believe it was year 17 already. But it's like, you hear about that, 17 years to put on a festival. It takes enough to put on just a barbecue, a birthday party,
catering,
a birthday party at a local restaurant, let alone putting on, you know, getting a 59-page permit from the city, from the county of San Diego, to put on this special event. One of the things that I wanted to ask you, Derek, is for somebody out there,
Shawn.
For somebody out there that wants to jump off the cliff, like we said in Behind the Smoke, and actually think bigger than themselves, and, you know, put on a festival, whether it's, you know, in the middle of the U.S., whether it's on the other side of the world, what have you learned in the last 10 years? What's your advice?
Well, my advice, I would say, to first start off with the why. Why do you want to do it? Are you wanting to do it to monetarily gain from it?
Don't do it.
Because if that's what it is, I mean, again, it comes down to the feels, right? I'm a feels person, you're a feels person. Like, if it doesn't feel good, and if you don't if you can't put a value on that, you're probably not going to want to do it. Like, it's just got to be something that's bigger than you. That's what it has to be. And if that works and that's your goal, is to have a community come together and be excited, man, you're going to be on the right track. And know that, you know, there's going to be sleepless nights. There's going to be those times, but it allows you to have talks like this. You know, it allows you to have that story. It allows you to do those things. So if you're not scared of that, and you know your why, and it's for a good cause and not just for a monetary value, you have something to run with. Now, with that, we cannot do this. We will not do this without our team.
Yeah.
And you have to surround yourself around people that are like-minded, people that understand how to work hard, people understand that, hey, are you in it for the same reasons we're in it for? Because look, we're not making money. You're probably not going to make any money. Let's go at it the same way. So if you're looking at doing an event, know that it's going to be a long, rigorous thing. But at the end of the day, there's things that we get out of this that are you can't buy. You can't put a dollar value on what we get out of this. I mean, it makes, you know, for as cliche as it sounds, it just fucking makes my heart happy, man. It makes my heart happy to bring these people together and do stuff. It's amazing. I mean, it's, you know, it's hard, it's a grind, but it's amazing, and I wouldn't change it, but just know that there's just going to be a lot of work, and you can't do it by yourself. Although we've tried, you just can't. So have a team, have volunteers, have sponsors lined up. Don't be afraid to ask. I would say that's one great thing that Shawn does a whole lot better than I do, is he asks. You know, he's not afraid to ask the questions or ask something of people. I tend to shy away from that sometimes, and I'm getting better at it, you know, because everyone asks so much of us and we always say yes, that sometimes I forget, like, oh, those people could probably help us out too, you know. But ask your community. See who else, like you did. You came and asked me to be a part of this. I mean, ask the other people in your community, and don't try to make it about you. If you're going to try to make it about you, it's going to fail.
Yeah.
And that's just, you know, case in point. It will fail if you're just going to do it strictly about monetary and just about you and clout. It won't work. So.
Yeah, and I think, you know, one of the most important things that you're talking about is just asking and finding people that are experts. But back to Derek's point about the feel, is those experts, they have to be in it for the right reasons. And, you know, Gene Goycochea was so generous with his time, sitting down with me and Derek, and still is to this day. He's still over there with Arlie, checking in teams.
5 o'clock this morning.
5 a.m. I mean, he is the essence of barbecue. He's the essence of Randy Gill, who he introduced us to. That's what barbecue is. I mean, it's something that's bigger. And I think, you know, about the sport of barbecue, you've got to start somewhere. In order to grow any sport, you have to support the lowest levels. And that's why I take so much pride in this backyard competition, is because in order to put on a Kansas City Barbecue Society, a professional contest, you need space for 2 days. So we shut down the street, the main street in front of Cali Comfort, Troy Street, for 12 hours. So 12 hours limits us to which kind of meats that we can cook. And it also adds multiple challenges with serving food to the public. One of the things that Derek and I have been adamant about for the last 10 years, and especially with Del Mar, is as much as we love barbecue, as much as we love going out to support barbecue, if there's not a component for people to participate, for the public to participate, there is no barbecue contest.
Yeah, it's silly. I mean, I don't know how much shit I'll get for this or whatever, but I mean, it's silly to me to have some of these barbecue guys out there and you can't even try their food, you know, like that's why, you know, it was important for us to create that experience and have not, you know, obviously the amateur guys that are here today, you know, you're not gonna be able to try their food, but that's why we bring out all the big hitters out in San Diego that can support this, and you can get good barbecue and try stuff and try something you've never tried before. I mean, shit, we're trying something we've never tried before this year. We're doing pulled pork nachos that, I mean, it was just something that we were like, hey, this is just giving added value to the consumer. Mm-hmm. That's something that they can try, and, you know, so yeah, it's good to have that PC side of it, because again, your event isn't going to do well if you don't have that interaction with the consumer, that person coming out. Like, if they're gonna come out, they're like, oh, your food smells great, but I can't fucking have it. Like, sorry, dude, I wouldn't want to go back, right? Like, that's a one-time shot for me. Like, I'm salivating and now I can't have anything to eat and I got to go buy something somewhere else. Well, it doesn't make sense for me, you know. And that's again how we talk about, and you know, again, I'll probably get shit for this, but why the fuck are you gonna have a KCBS event if you can't do that? KCBS will not continue if you don't have PC, because the public's what drives these events. That's what event organizers like me, I'm telling you right now, I will not throw an event if we can't do PC.
Yep.
I don't mind donating money and helping out, but I can't be in the whole 20 grand. I need people to come and taste the food, like break even, make some money, give it to a charity. Like, again, it's not for us making money, we're giving back, but that's the component that's gonna allow you to do those things. It affords you those luxuries to do that. And without the PC, it does not work.
Yeah, and I think one of the key components for us growing this event was asking, which is totally counterintuitive to what you would think, is asking other barbecue restaurants to come and participate in this event.
Why the fuck would you want another barbecue restaurant on your street, Shawn? It makes no sense, right?
Correct.
It makes all the sense in the world.
It makes all the sense in the world, because then you get to meet other operators, other people like Brad Coop. Brad he was the first one to buy in. He was the first one. He actually was skeptical. I wish we could get him on the podcast, but he was skeptical when you and I asked him. Because
why wouldn't you be, right?
It's like, what the fuck do you want me to come down and sell barbecue in front of your restaurant at your festival?
Right.
Like, absolutely. I want you to promote your shop, because your shop is 1 mile away from us.
Yeah.
And then we get Corbin's, and then we get Chris from Smoked Hog, and then we get Dan Sobek. I mean, all these people, hot sauces and more. I mean, what Brian's done, every single time we go on the news, he's bringing eggs to the news. And I can't tell you how much those little things help this whole thing happen.
I don't know if Brian knows how to say no. Right? He's just always there for us, no matter what we need.
I agree.
Hey, Brian, we need some eggs for this festival. Come, and he doesn't ask for anything in return.
No.
He just does it out of the kindness of his heart. And obviously, we want to give him as much publicity as we can to help him out. But he's in it for the right reasons. He's got that heart that just says, hey, I'm in this. I want to learn. I want to be a part of this movement. I'm in it for that. And that's what you want, right? You want those people. And again, you talked about how counterintuitive people might think that it is to have other barbecue people here. But it's like, you know, we're beating a dead horse with this saying, but like, it's the same thing with the craft beer industry.
Yeah.
Like, do not cannibalize each other. You want a rising tide lifts all ships, right? So
Correct.
If everyone can start working together, dude, I want nothing more than success for everybody. And if you're a hard worker and you want to do it for the right reasons, I want nothing more than to be able to help you, than to push you. I want you to push me. We all work together, and guess what? It holds me accountable.
Correct.
I can't have shitty barbecue because I'm gonna be fucked, right? If I'm putting out shitty barbecue, but I'm the only place in town, well, everyone's like, okay, it's like, okay, decent barbecue. No, fuck. I'll tell you straight up, 100%. I don't like fucking being last in anything. I don't like not being one of the best. I like to push myself and do that stuff. So that helps me do that with these people. And all of a sudden, it's like, oh, all of our barbecues are better because of that.
Correct. Yeah, and I think, you know, back to what you're saying is, it's so important not just to ask for help, not just to get the buy-in, but to create something that's different and that's unique. And I think, you know, by being a barbecue restaurant that's promoting not just our barbecue, but the growth of barbecue. I mean, Gene taught us early on that it's not about, oh, this is our secret sauce, this is our secret way to make ribs. I mean, if there's anybody that listens to this podcast, anybody that visits us, people that were listening from behind the smoke, they would come out, they'll come to Cali, we'll take them through the kitchen, we'll show them the smoker, we'll show them the pits, we'll talk about what they're doing in their business. Derek does the same thing at Valley Farm. And guess what? That's how we were able to grow. We were able to grow. I learn things every time I do that.
I tell a story that, you know, of course, everyone wants a fast track how to cook a great brisket, right? And everyone wants to say, okay, hey, how do I cook a great brisket? Well, you got to fuck a lot of them up first, right? You really got to ruin a lot of briskets to make a few great. And my thing was, I made a good brisket and it was great. And then I'm like, okay, I can make it better. And then I started overthinking the process. And okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do it at this temperature and then break it down. I'm gonna take out the decal. I'm gonna separate them. I'm gonna do. And when I started talking to Gene, he's like, "What are you doing? Like simplicity, my friend. This is a, you know, do it simply, very, very consistent, and you'll have a good product." And I'm like, "Oh, whatever." You know, I go back to the shop and I make it. I'm like, "Well, goddamn, if that wasn't one of the best briskets I ever made." You know, just not overthinking those things, but it's like getting that guidance. But you have to be okay with ruining stuff first.
Yep.
You have to be okay with like not being the best. It's, you know, we can talk about it till we're blue in the face, but it's about the experience. To be able to have these conversations mean that we had to be back in the day fucking stuff up all the time for growth. And everyone wants a call. Everyone wants, you know, the trophy at the end. Well, what good is that trophy if you don't have to work hard for it and figure it out? So that's what we're always saying. Like, man, you gotta fuck those things up. You gotta make a bad brisket to not. And guess what? Your palate's different than mine, and that's 100% okay. It's okay if your brisket tastes different than mine. Make stuff that you like. Make sure that you're not scared to buck the system a little bit and make it how you like. Some people don't want it real sweet. Some people are like, oh, the only way to cook brisket is if you do salt and pepper and you got to do an offset. And, well, you're wrong. That's not the only way. There's multiple ways to do it, and they're all good in their own right, but find out what makes your palate happy and make it like that. Don't be afraid of, and you don't need to follow everybody. Just listen, absorb stuff, take it in, but then use it to your liking. You know, for beer, I'm a certified cicerone. I've been doing beer for a long time. I made beer, and I tell the story. It's the same thing with brisket, but it's like, my first beer I made was hands down the fucking most disgusting beer anyone's ever made in their life. I went to Brew Mart, and I'm like, oh, I like caramelized hops, or I like this yeast, or that sounds great. And I'm putting like all this smorgasbord of a fucking goulash together for this beer, and I made it, and goddamn, if it wasn't like a 12% beer, but I drank every last drip because I wanted to, you know, experience that, to know what shitty beer is, so I knew that I was never going to make it again. You know, you got to go through that experience.
I think ruining things is absolutely something that we've done beyond multiple times.
Yeah.
Here comes Snoise, probably one of the sexiest desserts you can get.
Yeah.
One of the most popular booths. They come to Del Mar, and then now they're out here. They're right here in Spring Valley. But you know, asking for help and asking for partners that are already part of your existing business. I mean, back to what we were talking about with Coops and with Corbin, we know as owners of businesses how difficult it is to come out on a Sunday and spend more labor, more staff doing something where you're probably not going to make money. You're doing it as a way to give back to the community and also promote your brand. But when we reach out to US Foods, you know, Scott Volpe, Jason Paolini before that, you know, Josh.
Brad.
Good old Brad. And Brad from the beginning. Brad, who was out here with his dad, he spent all day out here vending because we needed help at that point vending. And, you know, it's like, you have to be willing to say that, hey, maybe we can't do it by ourselves. And I think the more I know that I've gotten out of my own way, the better the event has become. And like, because before I was trying to micromanage everything. Where does this team go? Where does this go? And then, you know, Bill, once he started working for us, I'm like, he can do it way fucking better than I can. Right. I'm like, JC, like there was,
I'll tell you this right now.
JC was here. I don't know what year it was. It was probably year 4. He was here with his daughters because he lived right up the street. And we were having the worst time loading teams out once the festival was over so that we could open up the street to the public. And we were creating a dangerous street. I mean, it was turning into a NASCAR street. And literally I went to JC, I'm like, can you help us clear this street? And JC, with his background in the Navy submarines, I mean, the guy is just...
There he is right there.
Unbelievable. Not only did he did what 5 people couldn't do.
Dude, and that's why he was where he was in the Navy as well.
Unbelievable.
I mean, but again, it's that team, right? It's look at him. He's walking around right now, flip-flops, you know, sending people in their spot. When you say Bill is better than you, he's 10 times better than you and 20 times better than me at those things. And it's like
logistics.
I need to make sure that I'm not the best at everything, because if I'm the best at everything that we do, it's not going to succeed. I need people that are better than me at certain things, and that's what they are. They're just, you know, they're machines, and they go for the right reasons, and again, it just helps us out so much to have those.
I mean,
types
I
of
always consider myself an event organizer. That's my thing. Like, I love events. I love doing it. I love hosting it. I love learning about new stuff. But it wasn't until hiring Abby, who's actually an event coordinator, who's actually way more organized than I could ever be, where both you and I were able to not only put on the professional contest, but really grow this contest.
Yeah, I mean, I know we've gotten to a place right now where, in the last couple of years where it's like, hey, I think we're missing something because we're not staying here till midnight anymore. Like, what are we forgetting? And it just runs 10 times smoother because, again, we got out of our own way and have those people. Abby, who's now my assistant at the store, like, I don't even touch shit on my desk, because she has it in a certain place where I'm like, hey, where's X, Y, and Z? But it's just, that's how her brain works. It's, I know one of my faults is that I'm not as organized as I should be or could be, but Abby does that for me, and she's she's the biggest part of my puzzle, to be honest. I'd be lost without her, but she's again, it's just having those people with you, allowing you to do those things, your team, the effort. I mean, you're here at 3 a.m, man, and everyone's just going. It's like, we don't even have to really ask questions anymore. We just talk for a second, and then you just kind of go do your thing. We get the smokers up, and moving the teams this year over to this side, so they're kind of out of the public and having all of our vendors on there. This is going to be an amazing event today.
Yeah. So back to what Derek just said, is moving the teams, and that's something that was Derek and Bill decision. That was something where I had to get out of my own way, and putting teams. I mean, one of the biggest challenges that we have putting on these kinds of events is because there's really 2 events that are happening. There's a amateur barbecue contest with 20 amateur teams. 13 teams are first-year teams. 6 teams, this is their second year, and then we have Derek Dawson holding it down for the Gulls. This will be his 5th year. They're competing for cash prizes in 5 categories, 4 food categories, 1 tailgate category. But then all the public's coming. The public is not eating food from the barbecue teams, which is something that's very difficult to market. And at the end of the day, the public, they don't really care if it's a team or if it's a restaurant. They want to come and have an incredible experience, right?
Yeah. And look, we got South and Spoon selling pudding, we got Snoys, we got cheesecake. So it's not just a barbecue event, it's a food event. So I know I say this a lot, but I can't fucking eat barbecue all day, every day. So having the variety of different things that we can do and the variety of food creates a better experience for the consumer. It creates,
yell at Cory.
More want and more drive for people to come down here
Wagner.
and experience it. Getting sometimes it gets jam packed in here, and you can't even walk through it. So I think we get anywhere from 6,000 people to 8,000 people sometimes that come into this event, and it gets so crowded. Well, now this allows us to space it out, but it's just going every year. After the events, guys, we take notes and we say, hey, what can we do better, right? What can we add? What can we to make this smoother? And when we start preparing for them, we go back through our notes and say, hey, this was kind of a thorn in our side last year. Let's not let this happen again, whatever it is. And now it's just running way more smooth. It's easier. People want to be a part of it. And it's just growing.
And, there is the other side of it, too, is that by putting on this event, our businesses are essentially setting up little businesses in front of the restaurant. So we have to have a team. I have to have, Eric, my general manager, has had to buy into the fact that everything that he knows about running the restaurant changes today. So today we're going to do a lot less barbecue, but the bar is going to be busier than it will be the entire year. So the bar, the beer garden, and without Ian, one of our managers, Lisa's been here to every single barbecue festival. She actually started in the beer garden. I was looking at pictures the other day with her and my brother, Tommy, who was our original pit master. But I mean, the restaurant has grown so much. And I know that Valley Farm, you have a team that they don't get as much love as they should because they have to run. Your store is open.
Oh yeah.
It's open, it's busy, and people are coming in, they're asking questions about, hey, what's happening in the barbecue festival? And they have to be on top of their game.
Yeah, they're short staffed there right now. I mean, I have Kat, who's my general manager at the Spring Valley location, who is nothing short of amazing, and she just holds that fort down,
Yep.
man. And she's like, it's funny because I talk to her every day, and I'm like, hey, like, what do you need? And she'll just look at me sometimes. She's like, I got it. Just, you're good, man. I got this for you. Like she's never shies away from a challenge. She's like, look, you got me for a reason. Like let's go. And I'm like, man, again, it makes my heart happy just to have a team that's just so willing to buy in to our whys. And to have that with the team. And she's there holding it down, and I mean, let's be honest, she can do it without me anyways, but sometimes I'm there just because it makes me feel better.
Right.
But they got it down to a science, and she's like, look, I know what happens when I'm down this many people. And then I got Charlie in the meat department, he's my meat manager, who gets everything ready with, Derek Walls, and they put all the packages together for all the teams. And, they understand the staffing, and they, I have extra people here today because we're doing an extra booth, and they all they're like, look, man, we got it.
Right.
This is what we do. This is why you hired us. This is why, and to buy into the whys is amazing, It's just great.
So I wanted to bring on the original producer of the Behind the Smoke podcast, Cory Wagner, because there's nobody that has more knowledge on how to market a festival and market an event. Things really changed for me personally when I met Cory. His girlfriend Alana was one of our rock star bartenders at Cali, and she said that her boyfriend was looking for a job. He was huge into social media and digital media, and had a great background, and frankly I was concerned that his experience was too much and I wouldn't be able to figure out a way to get him to work for me. But not only did I get him to work for me, I've been so happy to watch him grow his own business, his own company, his own digital marketing company, and welcome for the first time to the podcast, to this side of the podcast, I should say.
Hey, thank you.
What
Thanks
up?
for having me. It's fourth BBQ Fest here in Spring Valley, and
For
each
you.
time, for me, my fourth, seems like it gets easier and easier each time, get a little more used to it. It's really cool watching everything come together and just being a part of it on the digital side. Thanks for having me.
So this is digital hospitality. One of the things that's really important is, as much as great as, it's funny, I was in my AA meeting in my bar yesterday. So I'm sitting next to a gentleman, and he said, when I moved in to Spring Valley, to Kenwood, my neighbor said, oh, do you know about Cali Comfort? And he's like, no, I don't know what that is. He's like, oh, it's a restaurant. It's like, but that's the restaurant they put on the festival every year. They shut down the street. And like when he said that, it was one of those aha moments, because literally as a restaurant here in East County that's not on the water, that's not in La Jolla, that's not in Gaslamp, like one of the things we've always tried to do is shake up the village. How are we going to shake up the village? And the best way to shake up the village is to shut the street down. That way people can actually really know that you're here and that you exist. So it's good to know that message is going forward. But on a digital side, how have you seen, what kind of recommendations do you have to anybody that's trying to market a festival or an event for the first time?
Yeah, I think one thing that is important to do is to create an event on Facebook. Do it, give it enough lead time before the event, probably at least 2 months if you have all the details ironed out. That way you can kind of, start your pre-promotions, whether you have the flyer or not, put a couple pictures up. If you just have one picture, put that as your event cover photo. Get your details down in your Facebook event and start inviting everyone on your friends list and trying to get the word out on Facebook. And if you have an Instagram, do the same thing. Start posting about it frequently, at least every other day, at least once a week if you can. And just, getting people excited about the event and letting them know what kind of vendors are coming. Ticket info, be as much detail as you can give, and just as the event gets closer and closer, just keep teasing it, and then that's kind of the pre-promotion side.
I think one of the things that was important for me is, as much as I love social and I love Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, you name it, it was by bringing Cory on, I realized the depth of his knowledge could help grow the event, before the event, during the event, and post-event.
Yeah.
And collecting all those assets, whether it was photos, whether it was video, that allowed us to create content that helps drive this event this year.
Yeah. So getting the flyers a big thing. Using video to promote. I've always been really big on video. So, having you and Derek do videos to get people excited. People are used to seeing your face in person. So, we want to get people who are watching online to see your face. And then once you get to the event, having a photographer, having a videographer, or more than one, that's really important for me, just having that huge amount of content that you can share. Doing live videos on Instagram and Facebook during the event. For the people who don't get to come out to the event, they get to see it online and kind of get that FOMO. Everyone gets the FOMO, the fear of missing out online. So, it's cool to show them online what they're missing out on, and maybe they'll want to come next year.
And I think, Cory, you do a really good job at making sure that you communicate. Because for me, being as naive as I was to the social media, and you're like, hey, I need to get that brochure, and I'm like, yeah, I'll get it to you, and it's like, no, I need that, because for marketing, I'm like, okay, dude, marketing, I get it, but then to watch it watch him work it and actually do it, then it's like, oh, okay. So Cory, he pushes me, as much as I try to push him, but he's there saying, hey, Derek, okay, you want to do this holiday brochure or whatever it is, I need that content for me to be able to now go out and put it out there. So having all this stuff in place and having all that, the marketing material is very, very important to have it early, so you can allow whoever's doing it for you to do their job. Because for me, I was just like, well, we're okay, we'll have it the week before, and it's like, well, that doesn't work. If you're going to promote the week before, you're lost. You're not going to have a good event.
Yeah, I think that kind of speaks to just the general digital marketing done the right way. It can't be last minute. It has to be a plan. A lot of business owners are so busy with their day, and they can push it off until tomorrow, and things do get last minute. But if you have a team in place, do it enough in advance, and you can have a really powerful online presence. And that's something that we try to do here. And of course, after the festival, the job's not over. The festival might be done, but I think it's cool to show the album of photos from the event on all platforms, have a recap video, anything you can kind of keep using as marketing after the event. It's important, and people like to be tagged in photos. They like to see themselves in the album of the event. It makes them feel special. So we try to do a wide variety of shots during the event, of the vendors, of the food,
sponsors,
of the sponsors. Got to shout them out. So yeah,
I think one of the things that you've done an incredible job, not just with this event, but with the Turf and Surf barbecue event, is bringing in other influencers. Can you tell us a little bit just about why that's important, to have other influencers within whatever space you're promoting?
Yeah, these guys have thousands and thousands of followers. If you're an influencer, whether it's a foodie influencer or whatever industry it might be, they reach a lot of people. And so, I just know, for me working at Yelp now, I've been able to meet a lot of these foodies or influencers and grow a relationship with them. And when they post something, all the people who are following them, they get interested in that. They want to be a part of that. It's kind of speaks to the FOMO as well. Oh, there's this beautiful plate of barbecue from Turf and Surf, and this influencer is posting about it. I'm missing out. I want to join and go next year and get on that meet.
you know, I hear a lot of times people will be like, oh man, I missed your event, but I saw the video, it looked fucking rad, you know? And it's like, you know they're coming next year.
Yep.
And that's what, you know, what Cory's, you know, touching on is that when the event's done, your work's not done. Like you still got to think about next year and what you're going to do and how you're going to do it better. But putting out those videos and getting the content during, you know, if you guys are at this event, you're not going to see Cory sit and have a plate of barbecue. Cory's out here getting footage, getting all this content that he has to get with, you know, his team to make sure with Brian and everyone that they can put that together at the end, so we can have a sexy video that's, you know, for people to see. That's an amazing content that we can use, not just this year, but next year, promote it 6 months before the event, whatever, you know, you need to do. It allows people to still have that little space in their mind that they're still thinking of you.
Yeah, I think, you know, having something good online, those assets can also help you get sponsors for the event too, because if you're a company and someone, you know, is pitching the event to you, wants you to sponsor, there's nothing to show for the event. As a sponsor, why would you want to give your money to that event? But if you go, hey, look at this album of photos and this recap video, and look at all the things that we do here, just visually helps you maybe, you know, want to sponsor the event. So I think on the sponsorship side, it's important to.
It helps me a lot when people are asking me to sponsor stuff. If they show me something, I'm like, dude, I wouldn't fucking go to that myself. Why am I going to sponsor that, you know? But if you're making it beautiful and, you know, it's a rad event, but you want to just showcase that, I'm like, oh, dude, I can actually see how that could help my business. Like if I did it, I could, you know, maybe reach these people and I can help them out on whatever, you know. But that's a good point about sponsorships, because without sponsors, these events don't go on. Although we've been the sponsor, so it's kind of.
I think you know, it's ABB, always be branding, and one of the things why I got along so well with Derek is he cares so much about his brand, his logo, his gear, his swag. Because if you don't care about your company, if you don't care about those things, it makes it much harder for the marketing team to pimp it. Like if we can't tag you, we can't pimp you. And one of the things for us, you know, it was so important for Derek and I to buy in to the assets, the actual physical things that we're gonna give for people that are buying into this event. And going with frickin' laser beams and creating trophies for those of you that are watching on YouTube that are custom, unique. It's not a little league trophy with a pig on it that says first place. It's something that someone's going to be proud of, that someone's going to be, you know, all that work that they spend the night before prepping, all the day that they're cooking, they're spending time with their family, they're running to, you know, put their turn-in box, and then they get called, they get this sexy trophy, that gets taken in a photo, that photo gets shared with all of their family, that gets put wherever they go. If they go catering, if they open up a business, it goes on their wall. That's something that marketing asset lives forever.
I've seen some lame trophies, dude. I've seen
really
some
bad
lame
ones.
trophies.
Yeah.
Don't
I wouldn't
do
even want to
lame
give that to
trophies.
a kid on T-ball, let alone a grand champion, you know? And that's, you know, again, one of the things that when we teamed up with freaking laser beams, Chris and his wife, it was, we wanted to have something that people were proud of. We wanted to have these, you know, things that people want to showcase. And then when we showcase them, people are like, oh, wow, where'd you get that? And it just adds more value to your event.
Yeah, I think I'll touch on another thing I think is important when marketing events. I think that if you have a budget, I think it's important to look into running ads on your social media channels. Putting a budget behind it can really help grow the awareness of the event. And you can put some money into Facebook, and the ads will run on Facebook and Instagram, and you can target the ads. You can target just locally and try to get people in your city who aren't already following your page to hopefully see the ad and want to come to the event. And you can target in another city. So I think having an ad strategy, an ad campaign planned out is another really important aspect. And I know Shawn's all for boosting posts, and so it's nice to have, you know, the full buy-in on the team to want to spread the word like that.
You know, one thing I did want to talk about was Instagram stories, and I know Cory's all in on that, and I think, you know, there's a unique dynamic when a business owner doesn't know how stories are going to work and why you're doing them, to when someone comes in the store. I mean, my wife, who is, I can't believe how amazing she is taking care of my sick son. Hopefully they can make it today, Rosie, but she's watching Valley Farm Market's stories on Instagram about dragon fruit, and it literally is like that. She's in the car driving over to pick up dragon fruit.
Yeah,
It's huge. I was very naive to it and didn't understand it, and Cory has 100% been a huge part of me getting out of my own way and guiding me in this and doing the videos and putting it out there. And so when, at the grocery store, we'd have an ad that we'd mail out in the newspaper. They would get their ad, and we're talking about thousands of dollars a month that I'm spending to put this out there. Well, now we've built up a following of 8,000 people on Instagram and whatever it is, and with one video we can reach that market like that, where it took me thousands and thousands of dollars to do that before, and now it's just a instantaneous thing, and I can showcase my product way better than some ad that's what do you call those, stock photos?
Oh
like
God, the worst fucking
like,
thing.
But now
don't
you can
use
actually
stock
see
photos, please.
You
God,
can actually
do not.
see the fruit, or you can see the meat. Like, it's the actual meat that's there. You know what you're getting. It's not like this fake fabricated thing. So Cory always pushing us to do more videos, and I know we're going to come up with a segment that we're going to do once a month on teaching people about meats and stuff. But like doing those things, it's huge. We get followers. We make funny videos. We do stuff that just allows us to kind of differentiate ourselves from other grocery stores, or from other barbecue places. And it's your brand. Do what you want with it.
Yeah, I think to kind of touch on that, with the humor aspect, it's okay to add humor into your marketing strategy, because most people don't go to social media to get something serious and always informative. People use social media as like a break from their reality, and so it's okay to show, everyone's human, everyone likes to laugh, and it's okay to add, sprinkle in some humor to your content strategy. We just did a video for Valley Farm Market about our new e-commerce platform called Mercado.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah.
There's nothing more digital hospitality driven than that video that you did. Please share the
Well, as we're speaking right now, no, literally, I just got a notification from that.
No way.
That right here, that we just got an order for online delivery.
So this is the essence of the podcast, which is your business has to be online. And I can't give Derek any more credit than, I'm so fucking proud to see that video that you guys made, but then this buy-in to Mercado, which is essentially a DoorDash for independent grocers.
Yeah.
Explain Mercado to our listeners.
So Mercado is a company that focuses on independent grocers, that gives us a platform where we don't have to use Instacart and guarantee $10,000 a week in sales, that it's a lower threshold for us. And it's online delivery, so people can go click whatever they want. We actually have our barbecue shack on it too, so you can get hot food, and you have a delivery window when it's going to come to you. So let's just say you're at the office and your wife calls and says, hey honey, we're going to have Joe and Sammy over, and their kids are going to come over. And he's like, well fuck, I didn't know everyone's going to come over, so we got to get more groceries, but they're going to come over at 6. I get off at 5. I don't even have time to go shopping, or whatever it is. You can say, okay, we want our groceries to come here at 5:30. You just drive home, your groceries are there.
It's unbelievable.
So we put on 6,837 SKUs.
That's
which was very easy to do. And Cory, again, the stock photo thing, like Cory and the team took pictures of our product. It was a 4 or 5 month process of just getting all the stuff to do it. And then, Cory saying, hey, let's do a video on it. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And then a thought came to my mind about what to do, and we just ran with it, and we had a ton of fun. Like, for me, I was thinking, I'm like, I don't know if any other grocery store people are going to go out there and, do what we're doing. So it allows us to differentiate ourselves and put it out there. And now, like I said, like literally we're sitting here and we just got a text message that we just got
It's
order
unbelievable.
online.
I mean, it's like, the amount of money that a business owner would have to spend to create a commercial, to be on local TV, or to put an ad in the newspaper, or to get in a magazine, it's fractional compared to the creative output that you guys are doing.
And this is her second time ordering. I know this name.
That's amazing.
So it's like,
and you're going to get the analytics where you can say, oh, this customer keeps ordering this. Now I can do something special for them.
Yeah.
I can go above and beyond, because it's not about a privacy thing. It's about how do we take care of the people that are supporting our business.
Yeah, and I think something cool with digital versus the traditional way of advertising, you have metrics and insights to really kind of back it up and look and see if it's working, see if it's not working. So we posted the announcement from Mercado, the video we shot. I'm sure it'll be in the show notes.
Absolutely.
So we posted that last Wednesday, so just about less than a week ago. And then we put a $300 budget behind it on Facebook. And just looking at some numbers as of right now, the ad's been running for about 4 days. Our paid reach, so that's with the money that we put behind it, we're already at 5,120 views, and that's just from the money behind it.
That's incredible.
And the organic reach was 5,448. So, combined already, we have about 10,000 views in less than a week, and that's probably only $20 of the $300 budget.
That's on Facebook and Instagram.
Right.
That's not even where else you've posted it.
Right.
Which is also on YouTube. And that's part of the thing is, once you get out of your own lane, and what I've always loved about Cory is that he knows where his specialty lies, and he's not afraid to partner with videographers, with photographers, and bring them into his space, but then ask Derek and I to buy into that.
Yeah.
Because it's going to help him create those media assets that allows him to post it on different platforms to get exponential engagement than you would just off of that one piece of content, right?
Totally. Yeah, and I think it's important to work with, get a feel for, if you're a business owner and you don't do video and you want to start doing video, just look around and ask locally and shop out some different videographer options. I probably work with 3 to 4 different videographers, and we have Brian who's our main go-to guy at Valley Farm, but I'm working with a couple other videographers. One can fly a drone. Everyone has their own specialties. One does their hyperlapse stuff, and we ran a hyperlapse video that did really well last year for the holidays for Valley Farm, and it's just those little pieces of content that really capture your attention, and I think it's cool. It's easy to take a photo of something and post it, but if you can bring that photo to life via video, I think that's really cool, and just draw people's attention in.
Yeah, and I think one thing that I don't want to overlook too is, for Derek and I, it's incredible to get asked to go to local news and to promote an event or to promote a charity, whatever you're doing. But when you add the component of live TV, very rarely are you going to get the amount of engagement. Once we started asking Cory to come and film literally behind the scenes of them shooting that, what happened?
I mean, you get so many people to watch that, when we're at
whenever
the
they
news.
want, on demand.
Yeah, and it's something that you could even send to other news stations that show that you've gone there, and you have that social presence. So from a news standpoint, if you're Fox 5, we're tagging the shit out of you just to promote that we're going to be there, and not many other people do that. So it kind of goes both ways. It's nice for other news channels because then they get to share the assets that we're creating. Tiffany from KFMB, she's
amazing.
She's always asking us for our photos when it's like, well, shouldn't you guys have your own photographer there?
Yeah.
But we kind of help them out with that.
I think that's part of the cool world that is changing in old media and new media, is that we're all learning.
Yeah.
And if you're a business that's not learning or not asking for help or not bringing in people that are experts, I mean, we have Blue Vision Entertainment, we have Aaron and Brandon here. They have a time-lapse video. Stover's going to produce this podcast. He's in Oregon. You have to ask for help. You have to ask for help, because once you do, I mean, look at this village. I mean, just in this amount of time, Derek and I have not instructed anyone where to park. We've not instructed anyone where to put their sidewalls. We haven't checked anyone's meat inspection. I mean, literally, we've been up here bullshitting on stage, and the village is taking care of itself.
But again, with that, came 10 years.
That's true.
So
Very
don't,
true.
Don't,
It didn't happen
don't
this
discredit
didn't
the
happen
experience,
overnight.
right? But it's good to know that that's what it can be. That's your goal, right? Is to, in any business you have, you don't want a job, you want a business. So that's kind of how we approach this, is to have an event that it's not just work. It's allows us to do what we want to do with the hospitality and all that stuff. So
I think that the turnout of this being the 10th annual, I think it kind of encapsulates the thought of good things don't just happen overnight. It takes 10 years to build up something this big. Yeah, exactly. But if you're wanting to start video or you're wanting to start marketing and social media, don't expect to see a huge return in the next month. It's going to take a while. And I know that in Derek's standpoint, when I first started, he's like, okay, spending this amount of money, what am I seeing back? I'm like, dude, it's going to take a little bit longer. It's a slow process, but eventually...
My patience isn't my best virtue. I agree. I mean, I get it.
Yeah, but now he's buying in, and Shawn obviously buys in, but it takes a while for the momentum to start going, and once it's going, it's kind of a snowball effect.
For sure. So Cory, let our listeners know a little bit about your company and the launch.
Yeah, my company is called Wvfrnt Marketing. Wavefront just kind of comes from my love of the ocean, so waves, and I have a partner, Caitlin, who lives in Arizona, who we kind of brainstormed the name. But yeah, we just love helping other business owners online, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, website. We have Kyle, who does websites.
Kyle Pfluger.
Kyle, shout out to Kyle. He's 100%. Amazing.
He does
So
Cali BBQ Media.
He does our website
mastermind.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of business he's gonna have for the next forever. I mean, he's gonna have to teach his kids how to do this, because he's mobile first. I mean, we just looked at the statistics from this last week of traffic since we've switched over, and we're at 75% mobile traffic.
That's great.
To the site, and it's mobile first, so everything's designed for the user to literally buy barbecue online, buy catering online, book a table, which goes to Yelp, no wait. It's very exciting what he's doing.
That's great. Yeah, Kyle's great. We have Brian, who's my go-to videographer, and currently working on expanding the team of videographers right now. We have some photographers that we work with as well for some of the clients. And we have Eric, who does graphic design. So really, as a business owner, if you need something in the digital marketing realm, we look to be the one-stop shop for my company. And yeah, we're loving the process so far.
Are you a non-agency?
Yeah, we're more of a team.
Okay.
I like that. I've worked for agencies, and I haven't always loved the mindset where you over promise and under deliver. They just try and take on as many clients as possible just to get the money, and I didn't love that. And I've grown up playing sports my whole life, so I look at it as more of a team effort. So yeah, I'm growing my team, and I can't thank you guys enough for supporting me.
We're so excited to watch you go out and continue to help business owners create their digital presence, because that's essentially the essence of this podcast. And it's from the online world to the offline world, and you have to have a blend of both of those together. And thank you, Derek, honestly, from the bottom of my heart, for literally not only buying in but being all in. And the teams that we now each have and share to put these events on, and our special events team. I mean, when we were here at 3 in the morning, it's we see faces that we see twice a year. I mean, we see them, but when we see them, it's like we just saw them, and it's barbecue week, and it's go time, and it's just an eclectic group of individuals that they care about the community, they care about the cause more than themselves.
Yeah, no, and again, I wouldn't want it any other way. It's been amazing, been a great journey, and it'll be exciting to see what the future holds, for sure.
So yeah, thank you guys for listening to this episode. We're going to get some behind the scenes footage with Blue Vision, talking to some of the teams, getting some more of the action, and giving you guys some more tips on how you can put on a festival of your own if you're crazy enough.
Follow us,
tag
Follow
us,
our journey.
Let us know what's up. Till next week, guys.
Thanks, guys.
My name is Shawn Walchef. Thanks for watching Digital Hospitality. Be sure to subscribe and check out our next video.